Welcome to the Dan Casper Show podcast, your chance to catch the full show anytime, anywhere. If you missed it live on the radio, no worries. We've got you covered with all the sports talk, opinions, interviews, and conversations from the show. From the Packers to the Brewers to the biggest stories in sports and around Wisconsin, it's all right here. This is the Dan Casper Show podcast. What's up, everybody? Good morning and happy Wednesday. Making the turn on this week. DK Show coming to you from the TDS Sports Talk studios. Whether you are listening online at sportstalk1051.com, WAYYradio.com. You got the good old radio dials, 105.1 FM, 790 AM. Download the app, take it on the go. Video streams also up and rolling on the YouTube. Just have your Alexa devices as well, smart devices, smart speakers, multiple different ways for you to be tuning in. Shoe Doctor's bullpen line up and rolling. Hit us up with some messages, 715-830-1912, or hang out in the section of 105 chats on our video stream. Oh, man, what do we have on our game plan for us this morning? Well, Brewers won yesterday, last night, 6-0 victory against the St. Louis Cardinals. Brewers securing a series win, looking for a sweep later on today. Kyle Harrison, solid again. 6 innings, no earned runs, no walks, couple Ks to improve to 6-1 on the season and lowering his ERA to pretty darn impressive, 1.57. 1.57. Bowers picking up his 8th home run of the season. Mitchell also picking up a home run, his 3rd of the season. Brewers collecting 10 hits overall with their 6 runs. Uribe getting a little too amped up. And, you probably saw some of the video up there. Let's just say Pat Murphy not happy with his celebration towards the Cardinals dugout and such. But nonetheless, Brewers, again, picking up another series win against a division opponent and are now sitting 12 games above 500, 32-20 on the season. We'll recap last night's W, talk a little Kyle Harrison, just how impressive Harrison has been to begin his Brewers career. Getting overshadowed a little bit because of Jacob Mizorowski. And, I mean, you look at the numbers, from an ERA standpoint and record-wise, it's better than Mizorowski. But we know Mizorowski a little bit more flashy power, right? The 100-mile-an-hour pitches and such. And you just have Kyle Harrison out there just doing a very, very, very solid job. So, but and then we'll take a look at today's game. Logan Henderson is on the injured list, dealing with some back tightness, so he will not be making the start today. Coleman Crowe is going to be starting on Friday, so that's the replacements. Today sounds like it's going to be a bullpen type of day for the Brewers, with the off day built in for Thursday before they get back at it on Friday. So. And, I mean, Brewers are probably the perfect team, a perfect example of with their bullpen. You got guys that can eat multiple innings, whether it's Chad Patrick, D.L. Hall, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Shane Drowan. I mean, they've got dudes in there that can eat up a few innings. So there's a team that can do a bullpen day and really not tax their bullpen. It's the Brewers. So. Plenty of Brewers chat coming your way this morning. Also, football-wise, OTAs that started yesterday for the Packers, and today we were going to hear from Matt LaFleur. There was going to be an open locker room, probably just, normal routine for an OTA. Not the case. Yesterday, late afternoon, early evening, it was reported, Josh Jacobs in some big trouble. He's in some big trouble, facing several counts of domestic violence. He turned himself in, was arrested, according to reports and to the release, on a May 23rd incident. But, Jacobs officially arrested yesterday and booked on several domestic violence charges. He was booked on charges of battery, domestic abuse, criminal damage to property, domestic abuse, disorderly conduct, strangulation and suffocation, and intimidation of a victim. And this all happened in Brown County. So one of them, that strangulation and suffocation charge, is a felony, and the other 4 charges are misdemeanors. So Jacobs still being held without bonds, so he's still in jail right now. I believe, from my understanding too, is has to go in front of a judge and such. But Jacobs' lawyers' representation has come out and says Jacobs vehemently denies the allegations, and this matter is in the early stages of the investigation with important evidence that has not yet been made public. His representation continues to say, "We ask for fairness and restraint while the judicial process takes its course." The team has made a statement saying, as it is an ongoing legal situation, we will withhold further comment. So you can imagine Matt LaFleur and a lot of the players in that locker room, they're going to be asked about it. They're going to be asked about it, and probably not going to reveal a whole bunch, but obviously something you really, first of all, we want to hope everybody's okay. All right, we want to hope everybody's okay. We don't want to hear news of this, stories of this, and all that, and everybody deserves their due process and such. But, from a sports perspective, from a football perspective, not great. If we're looking at just from a football perspective, not great. Josh Jacobs, one of your better players, one of your key players on this team, on this roster. And again, straight up from a football perspective, when you look at it from a position standpoint, they really don't. If he does miss time, they don't really have a lot of options. And this was something we talked about around the draft, right? Putting a lot of your eggs in the Marshawn Lloyd basket. Manuel Wilson is not there anymore. If anybody's wondering, free agents, well, if you want a free agent, there's guys out there, and there's some name guys out there. However, these are guys that are maybe a little bit up there in age or coming off of injuries. There's a reason why it's May 27th, and there are still players who are free agents. Let's remember that. Okay, there's a reason. I don't know if that's going to be the plan, but I would imagine that Green Bay is at this point maybe looking at all their options into trying to get some more depth at the running back position. But yeah, not great. Not great. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk some football. I thought we were going to talk a little bit about, just kind of what would you ask LaFleur today, and players wise, and this bombshell that dropped yesterday. So what else do we have on the dockets? Hey, how about Stanley Cup playoffs? The Golden Knights back in the Stanley Cup Finals, sweeping the Avalanche. Ooh, man. 2-1 victory for the Golden Knights last night. So you got from the NBA side of things, the Thunder getting a pivotal Game 5 victory, taking down the Spurs. They are now just one win away from advancing back to the NBA Finals, where they would face the Knicks. But Spurs not out of this yet. So it is a Mike Star Market Am I Wrong Wednesday. So am I wrong? What's your sports take? What's your sports opinion? What's your sports thoughts? Where you would say, am I wrong? All right, send them on over. We got the Hy-Vee Game Changer Could be a move, could be a trade, a free agent signing, a player from the past week or so that you're like, man, that was a game changer. It's pretty open-ended for that. So send your thoughts on over too. We'll do a little Inside the Hobby coming your way a little bit later on. And today is a participation award day. So if you participate in the program, we'll put together a little swag thing, including, since it is Wednesday, we'll throw some cards in there. I might throw a Matthew Golden rookie card in there. So how do you participate? It's easy. Just send us your thoughts on the topics at hand. All right. Shoe Doctor's bullpen line, or hit us up on that Section 105 chat room. So, all right, let's get things going here this morning. Lots to catch up on, right? We've got a Brewers win from yesterday. We got to talk about Kyle Harrison. We got to talk about the Josh Jacobs situation. So lots to get to. Let's jump right into it. We'll take our first break, and then the leadoff coming up after these quick words. Load up on some amazing deals from our good friends at Hy-Vee in Eau Claire. We're talking about $4.99 Hy-Vee Choice Reserve Bacon Wrapped Beef Sirloin Fillets, $2.98 Jack's Pizzas. Load up those deep freezers, right? Especially if you're busy with Little League, T-ball, softball, those games and such. So load up with that. You got yogurt. You got fruits over there, too. On sale, yogurt, 59 cents for Yoplates, traditional yogurt. Kiddo, that's a quick snack, especially if you're going right before ball game. Trust me, that's huge in our house. You got $1.68 Cosmic Crisp apples. Well, we're always loaded up. We got 2 drawers full of apples in our fridge. So $4.59 Tostitos pizza rolls. So just check out the Hy-Vee Facebook page. All right, just look up Hy-Vee in Eau Claire on the Hy-Vee Facebook page, and check out all the deals going on this week, plus some other stuff going on too. Maybe some lunch specials for each day. You got to buy one, get one, 50% off all Hy-Vee health and beauty items. So they're always updating, always got their sales posted up on the Hy-Vee Eau Claire Facebook page. And as always, don't forget to, by shopping at Hy-Vee, you'll save at the gas pump with their fuel perks. All right, let's get things going here this morning. We'll get to the Josh Jacobs, story here in just a little bit, but let's give a little credit to the Brew Crew for picking up another win last night against the Cardinals. Now 12 games over 500, a 6-0 win against the Redbirds. The Brewers will go for the sweep later on today. First pitch at 12:40. Sounds like it's going to be a bullpen day for the Brewers. So, but let's start off with Kyle Harrison. 6-1 on the season, lowering his ERA to a 1.57. Am I wrong for thinking his season is getting overshadowed because of Jacob Mizorowski's performance, especially since they've been back-to-back? You got Jacob going out there, and everybody's like enamored with the fastball and the power, and rightfully so. Racking up strikeouts left and right. Chicks dig the strikeouts and the triple-digit mile-per-hour, fastball. Then you got Kyle Harrison right after that, and all he's done so far is rack up a 6-1 record with a 1.57 ERA. So am I wrong? Kyle Harrison's kind of been overshadowed by Jacob Mizorowski. That's not necessarily a bad thing either. All right, not saying, but let's just make sure that we give some credit to Kyle Harrison for what he has done so far this year. And you look at the month of May, 5 games, 4-0, 0.96 ERA. The month of May for the Brewers, when Mizorowski and Harrison have started in these back-to-back games, knock on wood, I'll probably jinx it here, but I don't care. It has been a win. I mean, you're going to put yourself in a win. You're not scoring any runs. You're barely going to be able to do anything if you are an opposing offense. And you happen to have to go up against Mizorowski and Kyle Harrison in a series. That's just the way it's been so far in the month of May. I mean, we know Mizorowski, what he has done in May. He's 4-0 with a .29. These two pitchers back-to-back in the month of May. Miz 4-0 in 5 games, .29 ERA. Harrison, 4-0 in 5 games, .96. Good luck scoring on these guys. And it is now 3 games in a row for Harrison that he has not allowed a single earned run. The guy is, guy's been awesome this year. Just how good has he been? I mean, when your name is kind of mentioned in the same breath of CC Sabathia in 2008, that's pretty darn good company. Now, if you go to the latest piece from Adam McCulvey on Brewers.com, he notes Kyle Harrison hasn't racked up nearly as many innings as Sabathia gave the Brewers after arriving just ahead of the 2008 All-Star break, but he has been just as stingy with 6 scoreless innings in Tuesday night's win. Harrison lowered his ERA to 1.57, best in franchise history through a pitcher's first 10 starts. Harrison's ERA to this point is a hair better than Sabathia's at the same juncture, having delivered a 1.59 ERA in his first 10 starts. So, not bad company. Harrison also, his ERA ranks 3rd among major leaguers who have pitched at least 50 innings. His 4.7% barrel rate per StatCast ranks 7th. His 10.63 strikeouts per 9 innings and 22.8 strikeout to walk percentage are in the top 10. His 29.6% strikeout rate is 7th, even after a night that he only struck out 2 batters last night. So, just another awesome performance from Kyle Harrison. And every time, it's like, every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings. Every time Kyle Harrison goes out there and pitches a game like that, Matt Arnold has just got to have the biggest smile on his face, and every Red Sox front office person's probably throwing something against the wall. I don't know. And the thing is, apparently he didn't necessarily have his best stuff last night, too. But also want to give a shout out to David Hamilton. Dude made some couple good plays last night. You guys see that one catch that he made? Playing short, having to go back. Dude had a little bit of hops. But fantastic play from Hamilton. Couple big defensive plays from him. So, tip of the cap to David Hamilton last night. Jake Bauers, his season, dare we say career season so far, picking up a couple of hits again yesterday, including his 8th home run on the season. All Jake Bauers has done so far is hit .290, an .858 OPS, and a .358 on-base percentage. That's all Jake Bauers has done so far. Talk about another guy that has been fantastic. Yelich, hitting in the leadoff spot last night. Pat Murphy, 51. Get this, of the 52 lineup cards turned in, 51 have all been different. Different variations. And last night was another one. Yelly hitting in that leadoff spot. What does he do? He collects 3 hits. Contreras continuing his, what I believe, am I wrong? Here's another am I wrong? Am I wrong? I know I talked about it a lot yesterday, but am I wrong for saying Contreras needs more talk about an MVP type of season, at least beginning part? I know it's still early-ish. We're not halfway through, but come on. Couple more hits, couple RBIs. He's up to a .308 batting average. What he does with the young pitching staff, Contreras, am I wrong? Contreras needs a little bit more love out there, too. And then Mitchell with his home run collecting 3 RBIs. That was a big home run to kind of shut the door on things last night, in that game last night, that 5th inning, after Contreras hits that double that scored a couple runs, and then Mitchell with that 3-run shot to kind of shut the door there. So, but yeah, good night last night for the Brewers. Uribe, though, getting the ire of his manager, Pat Murphy, doing the, if any of you are like Kenny Powers, watch that and such, doing the double, triple. Let's just go. I don't know. I don't know if I can say it, so that's why I'm avoiding it. But you could go watch the video and such after striking out Cardinals hitter. It was close because it's challenged. That really could have went in the face of Uribe, and that's kind of what Pat Murphy was saying too. It was a close challenge, and if that goes the other way, and then all of a sudden that motivates the Cardinals to get going there, it could change the game at that point. But yeah, Pat Murphy not happy with Uribe's celebration after his or maybe gesture, if you will. That might be the best way to describe it. Pat Murphy afterwards, Pat Murphy was on the field on the top step and already talking to Uribe. But after the game, Pat Murphy saying it's just unacceptable. I don't know what got over him. I mean, he's been an emotional guy, but that kind of thing, that's just not how we do things. And I was embarrassed by it. Why are we doing it in a 6-0 game? What are we doing there? There must be something deeper that I don't know about. He said, I love the kid. Believe me, I love the kid. There's so much good in this kid. He's been so great for us in so many ways, but that is unacceptable. Uribe afterwards said through his translator, first and foremost, everyone here knows me and knows who I am and knows I have a bit of a history of being emotional out there. I owe an apology to the Brewers. I owe an apology to my teammates, to my manager, all the bosses of the team. I understand that's unacceptable to go out there and react in a way like that. But he kind of hinted at something the Cardinals and Cardinals manager Oliver Marmol was kind of doing, and he wouldn't go into details, but he said, quote, I don't think it's professional for their manager to be making signs towards our dugout saying that he's going to be hitting guys. There's an event that occurred during practice today, and I don't think that's right. I have my teammates back always. When he was asked about what happened during BP yesterday, he said, I don't have any comments towards that. And when he was asked more detail about what he believes he saw from the Cardinals manager, he said it was something during Monday's game, didn't elaborate about specific circumstances, but he said, quote, there was a sign he was doing every time Yelly or William was up to the plate. There's a gesture he was making in the dugout. I don't think it's very professional for them to be making gestures like that, and I don't think it's right for any of my guys to be going out there with any fear in their heads that we may be getting thrown at or they can't play the game they want to be able to play. So, not quite sure full details on that. I guess be kind of interesting to see what maybe happens in today's game. See if there's any retribution or reactions or anything like that. I don't know, but maybe we'll find out more details about that today. I don't know, but all right, we got to take a quick break. We got more Brewers talk. We got to talk about Josh Jacobs and that situation and such. So we'll take a quick break, and we'll be back after these few words. Summer it's here right now, right? With the temperatures getting a little warm out there and such. Oh, yeah, I love it. 80s, heck yeah. And that means it's time to hit the road in something that you love. Where do you go? Hey, hit up Toyson Ford, because there you will find a great selection of new and pre-owned vehicles ready for any adventure. Looking for power, maybe some comfort or reliability? They've got it all, backed by a team that's committed to making your car buying experience easy and stress-free. So whether it's a weekend getaway or your daily drive, make sure you are riding in style this summer. Toyson Ford in Chippewa Falls, where your next journey begins. Speaking of Toyson Ford, the Eau Claire Express, they're on the road tonight, and they're going to be on the road for the next few nights. They did fall last night to Fond du Lac, 7-3, so the Express looking for their first win on the season. But they'll be hitting up Rochester tonight and tomorrow night, and then Thunder Bay Friday and Saturday before returning home on Sunday to take on Thunder Bay for a 2-game series. So, Mark, you stole my game changer. You stole my game changer, Mark. Mark says the Josh Jacobs situation could be a game changer, but not the direction we want the game to change. And I co-sign that. I agree with you. Again, straight from a football perspective, we want to make sure everybody's safe, everybody's good, everybody's okay. Obviously, we don't want to hear, regardless of who it is, we don't want to hear about situations like this. We'll see the due process kind of play out. But straight up from a sports perspective, a football perspective, if just looking at this is bigger than football, obviously. But if we're looking at it from a football perspective, and if Josh Jacobs misses time because of this, it is a huge, huge loss to this Packers team, for a team that has Super Bowl aspirations, Super Bowl goals, a key part of that on this offense. And you look at the depth at the running back spot, there really ain't anything there. It's something we talked about in the draft. You're putting a lot of eggs in the basket of Marshawn Lloyd. Manuel Wilson is not there. It's Marshawn Lloyd. It's Chris Brooks. And I don't know how I feel about that. I know how I feel about that. I don't feel great about that. And if you're looking at the free agent market, if you're looking at, hey, who's out there that they could bring in? Sure, there's some names you've heard of, but they're all coming off of injuries and some major injuries, and then you kind of look at age and such. It's May 27th. There's a reason guys are still free agents out there, okay? But yes, I get there's name recognition with it. Joe Mixon, Najee Harris, Austin Eckler, Antonio Gibson, Nick Chubb. Guys we've all heard of, right? But they're all coming off of injuries, whether it's an Achilles like Harris and Eckler. Nick Mixon has a leg injury. Gibson tore his ACL. Nick Chubb, remember that gruesome injury, knee injury from a few years ago with Cleveland? So I don't know if let's operate with the idea that Jacobs is going to miss a lot of time. Now, I know I was trying to look this up last night, and depending on the counts, because these are some severe counts. I mean, there's a felony count in this against Josh Jacobs too. So this is not good. This isn't. We'll see how it all plays out. But if he misses time, like the NFL suspends him, my understanding, a first-time offender would be 6, but I don't know if it would be more given the nature of these counts. But if Green Bay does decide to say, all right, we need to add some more depth here, and we need to add another running back, where do you go? Harris on here is the youngest, maybe more recently having success with the Steelers. He was with the Chargers last year, but again, got hurt. Mixon had a good run with like Cincinnati and such, but he's up there in age. Eckler tore his Achilles against Green Bay last year. He's 31. You got Antonio Gibson, who's a little bit younger than Harris, but coming off of an ACL. So, I mean, there's veterans, there's names, but this is giving me like the Cedric Benson vibes when Green Bay signed him. So, I don't know where they go with this. Oh, you just really got to hope that Marshawn Lloyd is going to stay healthy and that he could be a dude. That's what you have to hope for. I don't know. And then, Emmanuel Wilson right now, man, I wish they would have kept Emmanuel Wilson. But maybe Emmanuel Wilson is somebody that's after Seattle goes through training camp and preseason. What's the Seahawks depth chart? I know they lost Walker to the Chiefs and that, and I know they just drafted a running back. So maybe there's a chance that Emmanuel Wilson could be released in training camp or after preseason, and Packers can bring him back aboard in that. Let me bring it up here. Otherwise, you're talking trades. I saw some people throwing out Alvin Kamara as a potential. But, again, you'd have to throw some picks. You'd have to take on that contract. Running back here for Seattle. Okay, so Emmanuel Wilson's actually listed as their third running back on there. I don't know. But, it's a crappy situation. It is an awful situation. And if we look at it straight from a football perspective, it is a huge, huge hit to this team. Now, Matt LaFleur is going to be talking today because OTAs began yesterday and, going to be talking for the first time today. He's going to be asked about it. There's going to be a lot of questions about it. Just already throwing it out there, he's probably not going to give you very detailed answers. And I know there's going to be fans probably frustrated about that, but they're going to let the legal process play out. Players are going to be asked about it. There's open locker room today. Don't know what players are going to be talking and such. They're going to have to answer questions about it. Obviously, not great. Not great. But got a couple texts here. John says, after Uribe's comments, I think a Brewers player is getting a fastball to the side. Let's go, crew. Josh says, I can't believe Jacobs. Unbelievable. Maybe he is innocent, but usually when it comes down to it, where there's smoke, there's fire. Details the season, 3.5 months. Details, or is that supposed to be derails the season 3.5 months before it even starts? Okay, let's take a quick break. Plenty more Brewers, plenty more Packers talk to get to here. But reminder, it's a participation Wednesday, so participate. We'll throw in some cards. I'll throw a Matthew Golden rookie card into there. I'll throw in some swag and such. So how do you get those participation points? You chime in. You give us your takes. You give us your opinions. All right. I want to hear from you. We'll take a quick break as we start to wrap up the first hour. We'll be right back after these few words. Whether you are chasing a championship or you're just trying to stay active, your body deserves the best care. And at Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, they help athletes and non-athletes alike get back to doing what they love. From sports injuries and joint pain to everyday aches, their expert team is here with personalized care every single step of the way. So no matter your level of activity, you do not have to sit on the sidelines. Chippewa Valley Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, helping you move better, feel better, and live better. Starting next week, next Monday, June 1st, so it's less than a week away. We are going to kick off, or I'm going to kick off my 250 countdown. So we got America's birthday, right? 250th anniversary. So what I'm going to do is from June 1st up to July 3rd, highlight 10 each weekday, highlight 10 memorable moments, memorable games, athletes, coaches, sports stories, 250 of them. All right. I've got my list. I've been working on this. I'm not going to rank them because I think that's too difficult. And sure, I'm probably going to even miss a couple or a few that are not going to be in the top 250. but that's going to be starting at June 1st. But I'm still maybe looking for some suggestions. All right, so I've got my list. If you have an idea of who should be on, when you think about American sports, Team USA for the last 250 years, who are some of the athletes? Who are some of the coaches? What are some of the games? What are some of the moments that really stand out to you? Obviously, 1980 U.S. Olympic hockey, right? Obviously, the NFL, Super Bowl. I mean, there's so many different things we can go at. But I'm throwing it out to you. If you've got some name suggestions, hit me up. All right, I want to double. You guys are kind of going to be kind of like my editors here. A chance for you to do that. Make sure I didn't miss anybody or anything. So, but we'll kick that off, and we're going to do 10 each day starting on June 1st because math works out. 10 each day will lead up to July 3rd. So the 250 countdown will begin next Monday, and we'll do it on the show, but it'll also be a main feature on Man Cave Podcast because there's going to be some days, I can already tell you that I won't be in for the program, but it will be up on the podcast. So if you got a hot minute, don't forget to follow and subscribe to the Man Cave Podcast wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify. It's also available on YouTube. YouTube, click that subscribe, ring that bell button over there. I hate using the word subscribe because it makes it sound like you got to pay. It's all free. Subscribe, follow, whatever lingo that you want to see. It does help, too, when you leave a review. So if you got, just say thumbs up on Apple, Spotify, or anything like that. It does help. It helps get the word out there, the algorithms and such. So it takes you just a few seconds. Be a friend, tell a friend. That'll help in the participation points, too. Maybe I'll send you some swag or stuff with that. So, all right, just a couple minutes left at the top of the hour. So hit me up with your Hy-Vee game changers. Could be a play, could be a player, could be a move, or as a couple of you have also said, it's the Josh Jacobs, or your Am I Wrongs. Let's wrap up with Morgan. Good morning, Morgs.
Hey, Casper. How's things today?
Oh, they're okay. How about you?
Pick a word of the day. Like if you had to describe it going in, what do you feel?
Disappointed.
In everything?
The Josh Jacobs.
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, that was a bummer headline to read.
Yeah.
Don't you just feel like it's kind of a punch to the gut for people, especially on like the public stage that you look up to? Like they always say, don't meet your heroes because you'll be disappointed kind of thing. And it's always like, come on, do better.
Right. Right.
Like, we didn't have to be here. All right, Wednesday wild card. We're going to randomly pull some questions from the roulette wheel here, and you get to share with the class. Pick a number between 1 and 25, Casper.
Let's go 13.
Okay, here we go. Speaking of doing better, what's a quote that guides your decisions when things get tough? Do you have a go-to quote?
I'm a big quotes guy, but I don't know if I have a go-to quote. That's oh man, that's going to bug me because I love a good sports quote.
I know.
I love a good quote.
So think it through because it maybe
I got a couple right here actually.
Okay, there you go.
One says rise and grind, the other says be awesome today. So
those aren't good quotes.
I know they're not, but
those are craft show signs. Come on, Casper. Do better.
Okay, there's my quote. There's my motivation for today.
There is a quote that I love that is kind of it's like a quote, but it's also an overarching life approach. It said, live your life in such a way that if people were to talk bad about you, no one would believe them. And I think I like that because it's like the show don't tell. Like live your life, do the right thing, shut up about it, and do it in such a way that you let your character and your actions speak louder than words. So if somebody is gossiping and going low, nobody's going to believe them. They're going to be like, that's not true. Yeah. That doesn't jive with what I see with my own eyes.
Yep.
All right, so what's a small joy that brightens your day instantly besides me coming in?
A small joy? You know what? Dogs.
Yes, dogs are the best. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Yep. We had a ball field last night like anyone else in the world.
Yeah.
There was a big old St. Bernard that comes to the softball games. I mean, we're talking, 85, 86 degrees, and that big old dog was complaining less than the humans around me about that weather last night. And the most important lesson that life has taught you so far, what do you think that is?
Don't take any day for granted.
Okay, so if you had to ascribe a quote to yourself, if somebody was going to live by Dan Casper words of wisdom,
try to live it up to the fullest.
Okay, I'll put it on a sign for you.
I got
you can